What is up, my ducks and drakes? Welcome to the Crawdad Lake. Today is day 29 of the Gift of Fanfiction, a month-long event where I read a holiday/winter-themed Cindersides fanfic for the month of December. Today is day 29, and I'm reading the fic Bundle Up. Summary. Pedden could go a bit overboard when it comes to staying warm. The sides were super pumped. They all got up bright and early, ready to see the thick layer of snow that covered the ground like a plush blanket. One side who was particularly excited was Pedden. Pedden had loved the snow. He loved snowmen, snow angels, snow cones. Everything about the white flakes made him so joyful. He was especially excited because of how much it had snowed the previous night. He knew that snow was a bit chilly, so he decided to put on some warm things to keep him cozy as he played with his friends. He started by putting on the cat hoodie he usually had around his neck. He put on the hood, loving how soft it was. He then put on another pair of pants over his khakis. This was followed by a second pair of socks. He then decided that what he had on was nowhere near enough to keep him warm enough to go outside for hours on end. He then slipped into a thin windbreaker, earmuffs, 2 scarves, and then topped it off with a heavy winter's coat with fluff around the hood. He felt a lot better, but didn't know it would be enough. He then trotted his way to his desk drawer, where he then found packets of hand warmers and face warmers. He slowly ripped open the package, struggling with the layers and gloves, and then spent time shaking them. He spent 20 minutes getting them nice and hot, but this ended up making him dizzy from the layers and hot from the activity in such clothes. He then started waddling out of the room to the main room space, his glasses fogging up from the scarf tightly wrapped around his face and the heavy breathing created by the extra weight Pedden was carrying. "You weren't kidding when you said that Pedden was a puffball, Roman," Remus said, followed by a breathy laugh. Janice, Logan, and Virgil then went up to Pedden, looking kindly into his eyes. Virgil was the first to speak up. "Pat, we'll only be out there for a little, but it really isn't that cold." All Pedden could really do at the time was nod his head slowly as not to overheat. Janice spoke up next. "We should get him out before he ends up hurting himself." Logan was the last to talk. "Pedden, I am glad you don't want to get cold, but this is just too much. You went a little too far, and you could easily overheat if you kept this on for any longer. In fact, let's help him out to the front porch so he doesn't overheat while we undress him." The 4 sides then went out the door into the cold air to get Pedden undressed. But due to the way the cookie crumbles during the winter solstice, the sun was already setting by the time they got him out at 3:30. Luckily, they made an agreement that they'd go out and play in the snow the next day, as long as Pedden got help getting ready. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to read the fic yourself, it is in the description below, along with my Wattpad, Twitter, Instagram. All my social media links are in the description below, along with the link to my second YouTube channel, which is where I go live. Speaking of which, if you look on the screen right now, you'll see my live thing, which is my profile but has live over it. My regular channel thing where you can watch my videos. Then I'll have the playlists to all the Wattpad reloads and all the Gift of Fanfictions. Thank you for listening, and do your best.